Hi everyone, my name is Kendall and I work at the FIMS Graduate Library. And before you get started on your assignments, we thought it would be good to give you a brief introduction to the Western Library's website and also searching with Omni. So to get to the library, you want to go to lib.uwo.ca, lib.uwo.ca, and it might be handy to bookmark this page because you will return to it often. Before we get into searching with Omni, I just want to direct your attention to a couple of things. Mainly, under Research Tools, if you go to Research Guides, you're going to see a handy guide developed by Western librarians to cover virtually every subject taught at Western. So for example, if we go down to Health and Information Science and click into its guide, you will see a list of resources that are going to help you in your research. So number one is databases. These are databases that people in the field would use. Same with encyclopedias. Gray literature. Gray literature is just, it may not be purely an academic resource, but it's from an organization that is respected by researchers in the field. They probably even have more hands-on experience, ground-level data, and knowledge for you to learn from them. So it's still very useful. If you need statistics and data, it guides you to some options there, and just other websites that may not fit into the categories here. If you know which database you want, and it's not one of these, you will find a list of those under Research Tools again, under Databases. Now, if you know which one you're looking for, you can just browse by letter or search it by name. If you're still at the stage of trying to figure out which databases would be good, you can search by subject. So, we'll use a different example. This time, we'll go down to Library and Information Science, and you'll see it lists for you the 5 databases they have, which are library focused. Okay, so now on to searching Omni. So if we go back to the main page, on the home page you will see the basic search bar here. This is what we're talking about when we talk about searching with Omni. So I'm just going to plunk in a simple search. Let's go educational theory. Okay, now let's just get a little bit of a lay of the land here. So starting on the top left, you'll have a link back to the main page here. New search, self-explanatory. It'll just bring you back to a search with empty boxes. Journal search, you can search for journal titles by name. Browse, we'll try to go over a little bit later. This feature tries to replicate the experience of browsing the physical stacks. You can sort of see what's next, what would be next to the book you're looking at on the shelf. And it's based on call number. Anyways, Ask a Librarian is a shortcut to the Ask a Librarian service. If you're having a problem with any of the resources, or you just have a question you want to ask, feel free to click on that. Recommend a purchase, also self-explanatory. If you think there's an item that should be added to the collection, feel free to fill out that form. Same with if there's a problem. If there's a link that's not working or any kind of problem on the website, you can report a problem here. The ... is going to bring up some more options. Important ones I'll direct your attention to are interlibrary loan. If there's ever an item that we don't have that you need, then we can get it from another institution. Newspapers. If you want to search newspapers specifically, Omni does not treat newspaper searches terribly well when it's mixed in with the other results. So if you want to do newspapers, I recommend using this feature here. What else? Those are definitely the main ones. Citation Finder it's interesting, but I rarely use it. If you are trying to track down a known item, but you don't have all the pieces of the citation, like maybe you only have, my goodness, volume and issue numbers of an article and page numbers and an author, and you want to know, I don't know why. But that'll help you sort of solve that mystery. It can be interesting. Okay, over on the right here is what we sort of call the user area. So I'm already signed in, so you'll see that I have options to go into my library account. I can see my loans that I have for books that are out to see maybe when the due date is. My requests, again, we'll go over later. If you request digitization of certain items, those requests will be here. my favorites, and search history. So search history, if you're logged in, it will keep your search history, everything you search and click on forever. If you are not logged in, it's only going to keep that search history for that session. So as soon as you exit it, it's gone. So just keep that in mind if that's something that's important to you. My favorites, as you are researching and checking out the results lists, if you see one that you think is really good and that you'll want to not forget, you can click the push pin icon beside the result, and that will get added to your favorites. If you want to save all of the results on a page, you can click this empty box here that selects them all, and then just push the push pin, which saves everything that's selected below. Okay, so we have the main search box here, obviously. Right here is what we call the search scope. By default, it's set to Western and affiliate libraries. So in other words, things that you have direct access to. If you choose this second option, Western and affiliate libraries, plus Omni libraries, it's going to search other universities and you will not have direct access to those. So it's good if you're trying to search for every available option in the world. Just keep in mind you might have to take extra steps to actually obtain copies of those resources, which is definitely something we can help you with at fimslib@uwo.ca. The voice search, also sort of self-explanatory. If you are on a mobile device or any microphone-enabled device, you can push this button, speak, and it will translate your voice to text to do the searches. And then also we have the advanced search option here. On the left, you'll see the search facets or search refinement options, which we can talk a little bit later. Again, similar to the scope, search scope, if you click this button and add results beyond Western and affiliate libraries collection, that's cool. It's going to give you great ideas, but just be mindful that you'll have to take extra steps to obtain those items. It's down here. The other thing that's kind of neat, again, a lot of these tips and tricks are mostly for thesis-based students and people who are doing things like literature reviews, where it's important. Exclusivity is important. Exhaustivity is important. So that means you want to make sure you have every article, every book, every resources on the topic you're studying. So one thing that's kind of cool is you could do a search that is super complicated, has a whole bunch of Boolean operators and 20 boxes long. And there's two ways to create a canned search out of that. And that means a search that you can return to later. And not only will it give you the same results, but it'll give you results that have come in since the last time you performed the search. So these links up here actually hold all of the information that you need to create a canned search. So if you just copy and paste this into, say, an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document, the next time you click on it, it will perform the updated search. The other way that you can do that same exact thing is by using the QR code. So if you click this button, whatever search you have on the page, again, if it's 100 boxes long with 50 Boolean operators, and it doesn't matter. It's going to save the exact search, so you can copy the link or use your phone to scan the QR code, and every time you revisit that or someone else revisits that link, it's going to have the same search but updated, which can be very handy. Other than that, you basically just have the brief results. The brief result. So it just gives you a summary, if it's available, whether it's peer-reviewed, if it's an article, whether it's available electronically. So it has a lot of information right off the bat. Again, here you can email yourself the record if you want to make sure you don't lose it. There is the permalink directly to this resource. So basically all it does is it gives you a shortened link without all of the extra information that's not needed. More options. You can get a citation based on Okay, right, with the different formats here. So, oh, and it'll even tell you, yeah, so we always say make sure you check the citations. These aren't always correct. And one thing we're dealing with right now is Ex Libris is not extracting full author information. So it's only giving you the first author, and that might not be correct depending on the format that you're working on. So they've submitted a ticket and they're trying to get that fixed, but it's just a good reminder to always check the citation before you submit it to your instructor. Otherwise, you can export it to an Excel spreadsheet, you can print it off, you can send it to EndNote, EasyBib, etc. There's another cool feature that I wanted to show you. For some articles, you will see this really cool feature. Just have to scroll down. Here's one. So result number 16, you'll see these red arrows, the up arrow and down arrow, sort of going left and right. I don't know how else to describe them. So say you really like this article. It's been really good. You read the whole thing and it's perfect. If you click this button, you're going to find other sources that cite this article. Chances are those are going to be related to your topic as well. And if you hit this one, you're going to find sources cited in this article. In other words, you're going to get her bibliography or her works cited list, whatever you're going to call it. So I'll click that. And not only does it give you, the static list of resources that she used in that article, it'll also link to them and provide them. Now, this reminder here, this result list contains items that are cited by this article. Note that this is not necessarily a complete list of citations, because if she has cited something that we don't have access to, it's not going to be here. Okay, so that's just one interesting way to find other results that you may not otherwise have found. Okay, so now we should talk about how we actually get our hands on some of these resources. So from our results page, it'll tell you what you're dealing with for each result. So this one is a journal, not a journal article, but a journal. So I'm not going to click into that. But let's see. So this is a book, and it's available online. Surprising. So is this one. So I'm going to click into, Immanuel Kant, the educational theory. Connect to internet resource, and there you have it. It looks like it is a scanned version, but it looks like a pretty good scanned version, so that's that. So that's for something that's available online, but what if you come across something that you really want, but it's not available online? So again, you're just going to click into it. And remember, you have to be signed in for these two buttons to populate. So if you're not signed in, there's going to be like a yellow bar here reminding you to sign in. So now we have two options. We have the request and the digitization. If you are interested in getting your hands on the physical book, then you can hit request. And it's going to give you the choice of pickup locations. So whichever library is easiest for you to get to. Unfortunately, FIMS is not one of them. The closest one, if you're working at the FIMS nursing building, is the music library, just geographically closest. But if the bus drops you off right at Weldon, then that's probably easiest. So you just click on the library you want. If there's any kind of comment, then you can leave it there and then send request. If you aren't interested in traveling to the library and you still want to get your hands on the item, there's also the option to digitize, but this comes with some caveats. So as information professionals, you're going to come up against copyright. So unfortunately, when it comes to digitization, we are only permitted to, when it comes to a book, digitizing 10% of the book or one chapter, whichever is greater. So do keep that in mind. So it's going to tell you right away what it needs. So this is a book. So all you would have to do is, if the table of contents is available, you can browse through here. Maybe at first you just want the introduction, since that's going to give you a a summary or teases as to what's in the rest of the book, then we can just send you the introduction. Or if you are familiar with the book and you know you just need chapter 4 digitized, then make that note up here. You would just type in chapter 4 and then send digitization request. It's going to prompt you with a copyright warning. Just agree with the terms, and then that should send off. Okay, so now this is a good example. I don't actually want this resource. I'm sure it's fantastic, but I'm going to show you how to go in and view that and then delete it or edit it as you see fit. So I'm going to go up to my name here since I'm logged in already. I'm going to go down to my requests, and then you'll see I've requested the chapter of the book here. And if I want to cancel it, I can just cancel it. Cancel it. Yes. And now it was canceled. Okay, what else? I told you I would tell you about this browse feature up here, so let's go to that. So you can browse by author, title, subject heading, medical subject heading, but in order to replicate that browsing the stacks feeling, you're going to want to browse by call number. So I happen to have the call number from that other book we were just looking at, the Marxism one. So I'm going to plug it in here, and you can do this if you have the physical book. It's just on the spine, and just copy it just as it appears. So I'm going to hit search. And this is the book that I was originally looking at. Might look familiar. So one way to browse here is by just going through these items that Omni has decided are similar. The other way is to just take a look at these titles. So the books on this list are all of the books to the right of this book on the shelf. So chances are it's going to have very similar information, and some of these resources could be useful to you. Okay, I think that just about wraps up my introduction. If you have any other questions about things I've talked about today or things that I neglected to address, please feel free to always drop by the library. We're open Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 11 to 3. That's always subject to change depending on what happens with the COVID emergency. But we are always available by email at fimslib@uwo.ca. So I hope I get the opportunity to meet all of you. Thank you for watching this video. Keep in touch, and good luck.